Hey guys, I know that I've done a lot of Arcane Mage videos in the last couple days, but today's the day that I really want to show you the power of Arcane Mage and show you exactly why, in my opinion, it's like the best Mage spec currently for 7.1.5 in this week. I know that there's a lot of changes going on with damage, and there's a lot of nerfs and buffs going on. I would probably expect Arcane Mage to get a bit of a nerf in the next few weeks, but for now, if you want to take advantage of the spec and play it and kind of know what works and what doesn't, that's what I kind of want to do in this video and at least show you. Because with Arcane Mage, like I've tried Frost Mage, I've tried Frost Mage with Glacial Spike, I've tried Frost Mage with the Ice Slant spec, I have tried Fire Mage with Flame Strike spec, and the regular like Tinder damage Fireball spec, and none of them really seem to compare with Arcane because Arcane seems to do a lot more damage just overall with the numbers wise, and also Fire Mage is good in like some situations, but overall I think Arcane Mage just really dominates right now. Okay, so here's the spec I'm running. I've showed this in the last couple videos, but I am actually going to be playing Amplification, Shimmer, and Candice Flow charged up, Chrono Shift, Unstable Magic, Overpowered. For like huge amounts of burst damage whenever you use your Overpowered and your Presence of Mind. And then for PvP talents, this is it. I play with Mass Invisibility and Torment of the Weak. And I'm mostly going to be playing with a Rogue whenever I play as Arcane Mage because they offer a permanent slow, and that activates Torment of the Weak, increasing your damage by 15% pretty much permanently. So that's pretty good. And what we're going to do now, guys, is we're actually going to jump into a couple twos games that I did as Rogue Mage with Sativ. And Rogue Mage up until 7.1.5 when Arcane became good is that Rogue Mage was not even possible because mages didn't do enough damage and also could not get the damage out consistently since Glacial Spike could be interrupted so much and Frost Bolts could be interrupted. Arcane is really consistent with their burst damage, and with this spec we're going to be pretty much blowing up a bunch of people around 2k to 2200 MR. We won most of our games today whenever we played them. We were just able to kill people so quickly with Arcane. So I'm like pretty much every game lasts about 40 seconds because of how strong Arcane Burst is. But what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be trying to kill the priest and CCing the enemy warrior, and we're going to use a huge amount of burst damage. So as you can see, we both started, he starts in stealth, I started in greater invisibility. The priest is stacking up his shields, and we're walking over to him. We sap the priest so we can get a clean opener on this warrior, get a nice cheap shot into polymorph. I start spell stealing the shields a little bit, but I don't even think that's like necessary. And this was kind of a sloppy game since it was our first game of the day. The warrior, and I think he uses adaptation, and we pretty much are just trying to get off our burst damage anyways. We've got a cheap shot and a Garrote onto the enemy disc priest here, and he hasn't used his PvP trinket. He hasn't used his what's it called, PI yet. His pain suppression, PS. So his pain suppression. So I use Mark of a Lunith here. I pop Arcane Power and I actually mess up. I didn't use my charged up, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to use Mark of a Lunith. You're going to use Arcane Power, charged up, and you're going to be starting to cast Arcane Blast. I forgot to charge up there, so I use it there. I get off a second one, and then I Presence of Mind for a third Arcane Blast. So that's what that 435,000 is right there. And then I also use my fourth Arcane Blast while he has Pain Suppression up and hit him for 220,000 anyways. And he dies before the Mark of a Lunith actually procs, due to Sativ doing damage into him, and then me being able to get off a huge amount of burst damage, and then we just kill the warrior really, really quickly after that. So that's the first game of the day. And then the second game of the day, we're going to be playing against an Assassination Rogue and a Discipline Priest. Again, these games are really, really quick just because of how strong Arcane Mage is. But as you can see, we're going to be starting up. I actually mess up my opener. I get Mass Dispelled there, which is totally noob mistake. But I end up getting a Polymorph on this Priest here just to get the opener, and he adaptations it. So I'm just spell stealing stuff right now, using Mark of a Lunith here, and then I'm waiting for Sativ to stun, but we kind of like miscommunicate. Again, it's like the first couple games of the day. He ends up opening up onto the enemy Priest. We pop Pain Suppression, and then I sheep the Rogue over there. I call for a swap on the Rogue because I'd rather kill him now that we've gotten the Priest Trinket, and also we've gotten a lot of the damage, or a lot of the defensive cooldowns out of him as well, right? So I'm going to be casting a Polymorph on the enemy Priest here, and then we're going to be using Arcane Blast, Arcane Power as well, and then getting 2 Presence of Mind procs off. He actually Cloak of Shadows, so I don't get it off quite yet, but what we're going to do here is I'm actually going to resheep the Priest. I'm going to cast Arcane Missiles, and then we're going to cast Arcane Blast. I still have Arcane Power up, right? I have it for 2 more seconds, so my job is to get damage out in 2 seconds, right? So I'm casting this Arcane Blast with Arcane Power up, and I'm going to use Presence of Mind, Arcane Blast again. That's going to be about 1 million damage since none of them crit. And then we're going to be using our second Arcane Blast while he's in stealth. He vanishes here, right? And then I actually can see him in stealth, so I retarget him. And then I use my last Presence of Mind Arcane Blast with Arcane Power up with 0 seconds left. and we actually kill him. See, so bam, right, he's dead. And the Sativ lands a nice blind on the priest so that he can't heal the enemy rogue. And that was only about a minute long game, so it's pretty strong. Moving on to game 3, this is actually going to be one of the harder ones because it's a demon hunter, and demon hunters can survive really well. So we actually like plan on going the demon hunter in the beginning because he's just like in the open. But Sativ decides he kind of wants to go to the druid, and it makes it really complicated for me because of like the way I'm positioned and all that stuff. But it's fine. I ended up opening with a polymorph on the enemy demon hunter. Sativ calls for the swap, and I'm like, okay, I'm reshaping this demon hunter real quick, so it's only going to last about 4 seconds. I blink towards the resto druid. I start casting Mark of Alunith. I use my arcane power charged up, presence of mind. I actually don't cast a first arcane blast because the demon hunter could just instantly get out of it, right? Or instantly interrupt me. There's no way I could like cover out my or I could like cover my arcane blast in order to land that first cast. So I just use presence of mind and 2 arcane blasts immediately. And then Sativ lands a nice blind on the demon hunter. I end up using my arcane missiles, the demon hunter trinkets. I blink away, and then I get another arcane blast off. And it procs with my unstable magic, which gives another 50% damage of the arcane blast, and I actually just kill the druid right there, like through bark skin, through bear form, through everything, and we end up getting a kill in the opener, even though he had all of his cooldowns. And that's just the power of Arcane Mage in general, guys. Like, you can just kill people so quickly through all of their cooldowns. You don't have to land your polymorphs. You don't have to do a whole lot. You just like all in with all of your damage and just go through all of their cooldowns. And since you're so strong right now, like, you can just kill people like so fast. If you get the luckiest procs, if you get crits, you kill them even faster. So it's pretty crazy, guys. Honestly, it really is. But what I want to do, guys, is I want to show you some games without my commentary, just so you can see the full speed of it. Otherwise, I'd be going through like 7 games, and that would be kind of weird. So I'm just gonna jump into the next game so you can see the rest of the arenas while playing Arcane, so you can see and form your own opinion, right? So let's go ahead and get into this. Alright guys, that does sum it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I know that this spec is a little bit overpowered right now because of the overpowered talent, literally. But it's pretty fun, honestly. If you're a mage, if you have a mage, definitely try out this spec. I think it's definitely worth trying out because it's actually just fun to do with all the different kiting, with all of the like prismatic barrier, keeping your slows up, having chrono shift available with 50% extra movement speed, and having this crazy burst available every 1.5 minutes. It's just honestly, it's a fun spec. It's like playing a glass cannon. Or like a Palm Pyro spec from back in the day. So thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. You can definitely check out future videos, and I will see you all tomorrow for a new one.